Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a pivotal moment in Brazilian history that completely changed the country's destiny. Have you ever wondered how Brazil, a vast empire for nearly 70 years, became a republic overnight? Let's talk about the Proclamation of the Republic on November 15, 1889. For decades, Brazil was a constitutional monarchy, led by Emperor Dom Pedro II. He was a pretty respected ruler, known for his intellect and for bringing stability to the nation. Brazil was doing well, and the emperor was admired both at home and around the world. So what went wrong for the monarchy? Well, by the late 1880s, discontent was brewing beneath the surface. Several powerful groups were getting fed up. The military, for instance, felt they were underappreciated and underpaid by the government. At the same time, a new wave of Republican ideas, inspired by philosophies like positivism, was gaining traction among intellectuals who wanted a more modern form of government. But the biggest blow came from the wealthy landowners. In 1888, slavery was abolished in Brazil. While this was a huge step forward for human rights, the landowners were furious because they lost their enslaved labor force without any financial compensation from the government. All these factors combined created a perfect storm that severely weakened the emperor's position. Even though Dom Pedro II himself was still personally popular with many people, his government had lost the backing of the country's most influential elites. And so, on the morning of November 15, 1889, it all came to a head. Troops, led by a respected military figure, Marshal Deodoro da Fonseca, marched into Rio de Janeiro, which was the capital at the time. What's fascinating is that this was a surprisingly quiet affair. It wasn't a bloody revolution with massive crowds in the streets. It was essentially a military coup carried out by a small group of officers with very little involvement from the general public. By the end of the day, it was all over. The monarchy was officially declared finished. Emperor Dom Pedro II was deposed and, shortly after, forced into exile in Europe with his family, where he would eventually pass away. Brazil was proclaimed a republic, and a temporary government was set up with Marshal Deodoro da Fonseca as the nation's first leader. The new republic wasted no time in making big changes. One of the first things they did was separate the church and the state, ending the official link between religion and government. They also introduced federalism, giving more power to the individual states. Of course, they needed new national symbols. The old imperial flag was replaced with the green and yellow one we know today, featuring the motto Ordem e Progresso, Order and Progresso, direct nod to positivist ideals. 2 years later, in 1891, Brazil adopted its first republican constitution, officially establishing a presidential system. The proclamation of the Republic was a true turning point. It didn't solve all of Brazil's problems or instantly create a perfect democracy, but it fundamentally reshaped the nation's political landscape and brought the imperial era to a definitive end. Today, November 15th is a national holiday in Brazil, a day to remember the moment the country stepped out of its imperial past and into its republican future. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.